So up next now, let's talk about season three of, or I should say, volume three of Love, Death, and Robots. Right? Yeah, we pretty much covered the first two seasons, and we've enjoyed them for what they are. Right?
Yeah,
As it is an anthology series, of course, not all the episodes will land. Like not all of them will land anyway, right? But there are always a few that really stand out, right? And in this case, in this season is no exception, right? So what we'll do, similar to the past couple times, we'll just run through each episode and quick thoughts on those, right? So, first episode we have is Three Robots Exit Strategies, right? If you
right,
remember the Three Robots episode from season one,
right.
so they
Yeah,
return
follow up
again.
from right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and this is one that I didn't enjoy as much as all that, but I love the message of it, which is just pretty much human beings will eventually fuck their way up to being killed or annihilated, as we'll see, right? So it's just these three robots now show up in the post-apocalyptic future, kind of touch on a particular spot, like, hey, this is where humans were, and this is where
right.
they were trying to
It's
survive
same.
an
It's same.
upcoming
Yeah,
apocalypse. Yeah, I was like, oh well, they did this and they did this wrong, and they use up all the resources, and they relied on these
right. So there's a
antisocial
callback.
social media people, and this
Right.
that and the thing.
Yeah. So there's a callback from season one, episode one. Same three robots.
Yeah,
Uh, these three very cynical, funny, biting sarcasm. Like, yeah, they make it work, and they just carry it to another level of all these, they kind of making fun of libertarian types and people who could just thought they could just get off the grid and think they could survive too, that kind of stuff. Yeah, a lot of it was like that, and they make it
yeah,
work. And then, well, the ending fell flat for me. Like, it's a kind of a funny joke, but not really.
yeah.
But
Especially when the whole
who's the one who
creator was going to
survived?
be Elon Musk,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
That was a flat.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna make a
but favorite character, just like the previous episode, is always that one, the sort
the
of automaton
the
one,
Siri one.
yeah, the Siri one. She's
Yeah, yeah.
always the funniest to me
Here's
because
all
of
the fun.
how
Yeah, the best
this
lines.
she just says everything straight, just
Yeah,
right
how
down the
dry.
middle, right?
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that,
That's
right?
that's yeah. That's the dry street man character. That's dropping facts. Yeah, it's a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it work.
But
Uh,
in terms of, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Like, but I just love how probable these conclusions are. Like, you can always imagine, yes, this is exactly what humans would do. Like, case in point, relying on people who run social media companies, like say like a Mark Zuckerberg. Like, we'll put all our trust in people like them, and eventually they're just gonna fuck things up anyway. Like, I just love that despite how dark the material is, like you could believe it. Like, yes, this is essentially how these different factions of society will crumble, right? As you will come to an end. So yes, it's bleak. Yes, it's nihilistic, but it's funny. And for me, it feels like for better or for worse, yeah, this could
yeah.
really happen. Though. So Ricardo, you can tell me if you buy into it or not.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. Is I call him John Scalzi. He just always give you some good, like, funny rundown scenario type, future stuff now. And yeah, all of his books and material work. So yeah, it's all the John Scalzi scripts. It's him. They adapted to that and they make it work for it. That's why it sounds so plausible, because he is a fantastic science fiction author. So yeah, not a surprise. They make it work, and it's really, really, really well done. Just funny, dry, drab humor, dark, but well done and well made. So yeah, yeah, that's why I like it for it is. Yeah, anything involving John Skulls, it's solid business. Solid
Right,
first
right.
episode, just well done. Yeah,
Okay, all right. So up next we have Bad Traveling, right?
right,
Not one of my favorite episodes though, even though
right.
it's directed by my boy David Fincher, right?
I
But
love this one. I find it so goddamn grimy. Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
well, that's the thing
Yeah,
because of how gross and graphic
yeah,
it is, right?
yeah.
Essentially, we get like this sort of Moby Dick-like scenario, but
Right.
it involves this giant crustacean that literally
Yeah,
goes inside this guy's ship, this captain's ship, and is devouring the crew, right? So there's this nice little moment where they have to pick straws to see who will go down
yeah,
to do it, and then it ends up being the captain because they want to take over, but then the captain kind of come back like, "Yo, I'm gonna fuck all you up now," because
yeah.
like the crustacean himself does this sort of like telepathy thing now and kind of forces him to take him to a particular island, right?
Right,
Now, how I saw this, I felt it was very reminiscent of, remember the Watchmen story, the comic book Voyage of the Dawn Treader, right? Where
right.
you have this one captain who went mad and it's literally him building a boat of the basically his dead crewmates. And he uses that to go onto the island to his home now. And well, when he came home, everybody, even his family, thought he was some kind of phantasm or something like that. And I saw it like that. Like, this is a guy clearly losing his shit. because of this crustacean with telepathy and whatnot, right? And yeah, it's just like he doesn't hesitate killing off crew members, especially those who he feel was going to turn against him anyway, right? You just see his downfall. Um, and yes, it is dark, it is brooding, it is gruesome as hell, though.
Yeah.
But this kind of what you're like, all right, well,
I
that's
just
it.
like the
It's just a
captain's
guy
sense
going
of justice.
bad. All right, well, okay.
No,
But
but I like
I will say though, just quickly, animation wise, this is one of the best of the
one of the
season
best
thus
ones,
far.
yeah.
Though, just superb, animation throughout though. And yeah, David Fincher again, because he just loves that dark shit, that neo noir shit. Yeah, you see it in this as well too. I think the reason why I didn't enjoy that much is that I didn't really care for the protagonist because he was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill everybody.
Listen, dog,
But
this
yeah,
one
I see what
he
you're
just
looking
had this
for.
dark sense of justice there. It's like, jeez, boy.
Yeah, especially how he comes back on the whole pulling straws thing. I love that. I love that one moment where he comes back on the guy.
Yeah, but
I love that. That was great.
no, but the thing is that the whole thing is that crab can be let off the ship. It's like, yeah, and then all these people supported the fucking crab for some reason. Like, no, bro.
I know.
Yeah, and he
He
was
was like,
like, no,
oh,
fuck
you
that.
guys, all of you put that X because they had this voting
Yeah.
thing. It was like,
Yeah.
all of you put an X and everybody
You
can wipe out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's actually the longest episode as well, too. So I think
Right.
maybe it's just my interest was weighing off a little bit, right?
Okay,
But
right.
yeah, didn't love it.
Right.
But I do enjoy the animation and just David just being a dark motherfucker. Like that
Yeah.
worked for me. But yeah, your thoughts on Bad Traveling.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Also, not my favorite either, but it was because of the animation. It just has a unique, weird style, and again, just so dark and strange, and then how it just evolve and devolve into this sad situation. It's like, yeah, they make it work, and the voice acting was just so good now, but they make it work. I mean, I think it's Troy Baker. I think it was in it. So like, yeah, would like
Yes,
nice.
Troy Baker. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right. So up next we have the very pulse of the machine. This was actually one that I had to watch over because like first I was like, I don't think I get it, but now I
Right.
watch it again, it's like, all right, I kind of get a
Right.
little bit more, right? What I do
Right.
enjoy about this, first off, is the animation. I thought that the animation was
Me-
just stellar
Me
throughout,
too.
too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a very Martian, if you remember the film The Martian, it's a
Right.
Martian-like
Right.
scenario,
Yeah.
which I appreciate because yeah, it does touch on loneliness, right? But it also touches on well, I love how this story does that, right? The whole medicine for mental health, but side effects include it's that, right? So everything that she gets, because what happens is that while she was this astronaut, this female astronaut, right? While she's investigating this thing on this planet called Io, she ends up in this
Yeah.
accident.
Well, it's a moon or Jupiter.
A moon. Okay, good, right,
Jupiter's
right,
moon. Yeah.
right.
It's a real moon called Io. Yeah.
Okay.
The next
then-
because the next to Jupiter. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Right. Which they did mention, right?
Right. Yeah.
Her partner Burton dies, right?
Yeah.
And it's just basically her trying to get them to this particular spot for help there, right? But her oxygen is going out too, so she has to take these different chemicals. But the side effects include like hallucinations and stuff like that, right? So while she's trying to get from point A to point B, she's basically hearing Burton talk to her, but they kind of imply like Burton is a computer or the computer itself is the planet, but it's speaking through Burton and all that kind of stuff. But it's open to interpretation as to whether it's all in her head. I do believe honestly it's all in her head, but it all has to do with the loneliness that she feels, even to the point that maybe Burton doesn't even exist, and she just kind of imagine this one character to be with her because she all here by herself. That's how I see it, right? But yeah, it's very psychedelic though, and it's really sad at the end. But it's open to interpretation as to whether everything that she sees is real or not, right? But I still think that she was just all on her own from day one, right? You could tell me if you could disagree, right? But yeah, this was one in particular I had to watch over again because I didn't get the first time, but when I watch it again, it's like, oh, I kind of get that, but I do like the whole idea of the side effects including that really what make it work. That's why I was diving into the whole mental illness, maybe it's depression, deep-rooted depression or loneliness. That's how I saw this, right? But yeah, very emotionally driven episode, I'll say that much. But yeah, your thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, this one was cool for me. Again, I think it was Mackenzie Davis was the voice. I was like, yeah, I like her.
Yeah, it's her, yeah.
Right, yeah. It's like, okay, cool. And they make it work for what it was. Again, you're not sure if it's the drugs or if the planet and the planet was conscious and so on. So, but yeah, I'll admit I had to pay a little more attention to this one just to have it make a little more sense. Because yeah, it is very vague and we're unclear. But it works. It's just again weird psychedelia. It makes it work. Just her by herself. But not my favorite. But still pretty decent for what it is.
All right. So up next we have Night of the Mini Dead, right?
Right.
So here's the thing. On the one side, this is shit. But
Right.
on the other side, this is some funny shit in my opinion.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
This is one of those like, all right, I just spitball an idea here. Okay, let me try it. That's what it is, right?
Right.
And you either roll with it or you do it, right?
Right.
So what it is, in a nutshell, it's kind of showing a zombie apocalypse, right? But it's showing it as this microcosm of, okay, in the grand scheme of things, in the universe around us, this is this one event that happened in what we assume is Earth, you know. So we just see like these,
Yeah.
like just these zombie tropes, right? You know,
Right.
this couple who goes into this cemetery to have sex, and they happen to awake something that, you know,
Right.
start the zombie apocalypse. And of course, every you know, well, you know, the U.S. government has to strike and all this kind of thing, right? I just
Right.
see it event play out, right? But the way how it's framed, you not even see the characters. You just see like these tiny miniature characters
Well,
just
it's
talking.
yeah, how it's done is like a kind of what we call tilt shift.
Uh huh.
Yeah, tilt shift. It's just, that's why it works. It's just tilt shift
Oh,
and everything played in like super real time speed up
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
perspective. It's
because
like,
the
okay,
dialogue is all sped up to like
right.
like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just how they touch on all these like zombie movie tropes and
Yeah,
post
all the
apocalyptic sci-fi tropes in a short space of time. And this is the
right,
shortest
exactly.
episode, right? And
Yeah,
how it ends is just like, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, right? But
right.
it works, right? Like, but honestly, when I had this dumb smile on my face, I was laughing.
Yeah,
But I was like, this is real shit. But you know, it's kind of like, all right, we just had nothing to do. You know, so just come with this silly idea. That's how it feels like. It's like a silly idea. Let me just
yeah.
play it. Let me just play it.
Yeah,
Let me just
it's
play it out and see how it works, and that's what it is. And
yeah.
it's not. It's clearly not an episode that to be. It's clearly not an episode to take seriously anyway. It's just like a filler episode between the, you know, the last and the next one here. But it's funny. I like it. It's funny. Well, shit though, you know. But that's my thoughts.
right.
All right, so just a little hiccup as far as, you know, our Love, Death and Robots review here. So that is why in particular Ricardo will be sounding a little bit different. So we just kind of switch platforms, right?
Right.
But yeah, Ricardo, take it away. What were your thoughts on Night of the Mini Dead?
Yeah. There's a solid tilt shift, but zombie apocalypse, and that's funny. Like it's tilt because tilt shift time lapse looks cute and funny anyway. Like, you know, the Stephen Colbert his late show opening, for example, that humanism opening. Yeah, I love bullshit like that, right? There's a zombie apocalypse with it. It's funny. I wish it did something more clever that we did conceit, but it just seemed to be that. So it's like, well, move it on. This one is the weakest one. It just again, like I feel as just
Yeah,
yeah,
right. So up next we have what would have been, but right now is actually my second favorite episode here. Kill Team Kill. What I
right.
love about this so much is that this is a straight up ET's Predator
Aliens,
throwback
yeah,
story
throwback, yeah,
where it's just like these badass, you know,
yeah,
soldiers,
grunts,
right?
yeah,
And they going up against a cybernetically enhanced grizzly bear.
yeah,
Like when I saw what the creature they were going up against for, I was like, all right, I fucking with this already, Trent.
yeah,
And how he disposes of these soldiers is just badass in my opinion. But I just love how it all builds up to like, all right, yeah, we're going to go into this one room, we're going to this one military place, get a bunch of guns, so we're gonna try and kill this thing, right?
yeah,
Um, but it just has, you know, it's the typical tough guy stuff, right? But you know, it just
right,
plays on that whole 80s military movie stuff, right? But it totally works for me. But I had a blast with this. I really dug this sort of circa 80s GI Joe esque animation that was applied to this as well.
yeah,
I really dug just how brutal and over the top it is. Just great lines like "fuck you, honey badger," you know what I mean?
right,
Even to the point that at the very end there's a song. Well, Skrillex, by the way, provides the music for this, right? There's this remix that he does in the hair, like as you know, as he cuts the like "fuck you, honey badger," you know what I mean? And this is how he does that
right,
though.
right.
I was cracking up at that shit, dude. That was so hilarious, way. So yes, I enjoy it. I enjoy the hell out of this one, but it's not. It would have been my favorite had it not been for a subsequent episode, right? But yeah, what were your thoughts on Kill Team Kill?
Yeah, this was pretty funny and well done. Again, I'm not a big fan of the whole Team of Marine stuff because yeah, they also did another Team of Marine stuff with another episode. Like, oh, they don't, and it a lot of it just feels like extended like video game cutscenes. Like
I
it's
know, especially that second one. Especially that
right.
second one. Yeah.
So I really want them to come up with something more interesting and inventive with it. But yeah, I had fun with it. It's funny enough, enough humor and make it work. But yeah, again, it just feels too, for lack of a better term, too mainstream. It's like, yeah, when I come into this, I want them to be great. Just like, oh, it's something really clever and inventive and
Right,
innovative.
but not derivative.
It feels a little too derivative, to be honest. But it's
Right.
still good. I still had fun with it. It's still funny. They make it work for what it is. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. All right, so up next we have Swarm, right?
Right.
This was one that I really, really wanted to like play.
Right.
I really wanted to like it. Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem, right? Now, as much as I do like, the world building and how they're establishing this thing about, humans and aliens
Right.
and the possible symbiosis between the two of them, I felt it was just bogged down by a lot of exposition. But it's almost like every line of dialogue is some bit of exposition, right? About the relationship between the two, right? And it's almost like a trying to latch on and trying to understand everything what's going on. But because the two leads that are there, and I mean props for having them be African American, right? I just kind of wound up not really caring, right? I mean, points for
Right.
Rosario Dawson, with her voice work and whatnot, right?
Right.
And even the end as well,
Well,
even though
yeah.
it started off, the climax started off on a pretty graphic note, just the way how it played out in the end, I was just like, oh, well, that's it. All
Right.
right, okay. But I guess you, maybe Ricardo, I know you probably used to, some, like material like this in sci-fi. Maybe you understood this way more than I did. But
Right.
again, I just felt it was just so much things
It
being told, and I was like, all right, stop telling me. I want to see. And it's just like
yeah.
talky. This kind of ends like, all right. Why should I care? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, Swarm. So Swarm. I love it. I love the world building. I love the sci-fi stuff. Rosario Dawson, great voice acting was good. But yeah, it does feel like a shortened version of a movie. Like they want to make a
Yes,
movie.
that's the problem. Like
They
there
want to
should
make
be
a
more
movie.
time for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
more time
they want
spent on
to.
it.
They want to make a movie, and this is like a pilot or some bullshit like that. Like, and is the other is another sci-fi person selling themselves now. It's Tim Miller, right? Tim Miller do plenty sci-fi stuff. Not my favorite sci-fi author, not as good as say John Scalzi, but it's up there, right? It's solid sci-fi sci-fi thing to sell. But yeah, this was just again pilot for a show. Like last season 2 had a lot of this too. Like season 2 had the one with Michael B. Jordan was like that.
Yes, yeah.
Similar, yeah. Where it's like it's a movie, they want to do it. It's that same thing. It's that same thing. So whatever.
Yeah.
They borrow
And
from some. They borrow
yeah,
from some sci-fi author, Tim Miller. They make it work.
yeah. I even saw
Yeah.
a bit of Matrix in it as well too. I saw some
A little
Matrix
bit.
stuff. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So nice about it. Yeah. It's I think it's Bruce Sterling's story. So he's
It
another
is,
he's like
yeah. It
he's a
is.
big sci-fi author. This kind of stuff. It's clearly that they just make into a story and they make it work. And it's like, oh, look how alien and strange Deep Swarm is, and they like it's like a lot of allusions to insect life, but it's alien life, and is how evolution don't have to be humans and intelligent. It's all this stuff, typical sci-fi stuff to make you think, and oh, humans is not the top of the food chain, usual bullshit. But and I dug it for what it was. Like I kind of when I was watching it, I predicted it and learned about it. But yeah, it dies about it. So yeah, it's moving on. Not my favorite, but not the worst either.
All right. So up next we have Mason's Rats.
Right.
Did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did, mainly
Me
because
neither.
of how simple and straightforward it was, right?
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, is this farmer whose name is Mason, and he has to deal with rats, right? He has a rat infestation in his barn. So he keeps calling this company who provides all this tech products, but it's all military based as well too. So it's all about lasers and just basically wiping out rats at any cost, right? We see a few consequences and whatnot, right? But I love how the rats themselves become militarized as well too, right? I have this nice little battle between the two of them, right? But the way how it ends so caught me completely by surprise, where it's like, yeah, Mason basically had to step in and save the remaining rat soldiers from this one, sort of scorpion like machine. That totally worked. Although
Yeah.
I just felt that climax could have just gone just a little bit longer, right? But then that was fine. But this is how it played out, though. I didn't expect that they actually team up together in the end. That was really dope, right?
Yeah.
And points for Craig Ferguson coming through with a really good voice here. I mean, spot. And of course, he's Scottish, so it makes sense, right? But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
He was
enjoy
doing
this.
this.
I enjoy this.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Really funny. It had a dark ending because, like, yeah, the rats gone really join here in the ending because, like, he was responsible for a lot of them dying.
Mm.
And yeah, All these goddamn rats so smart though. Like, well, would.
I know, right?
Yeah, but yeah, this one I had a lot of fun with. Like, it's just a weird conceit that just brutal as hell. Like, I mean, it had a one part involved with a machine gun and a rat just being juggled by the thing.
Boy.
I'm like, jeez, boy, it's a bit much. But they
My
make it,
jaw dropped for that one. No
you
lie, my
know,
jaw dropped, yeah.
and they make it real dread. And it's if you ever see yeah, I don't know, it's who is he? What's his name? Art Spiegelman. He did a comic called Mouse. I can't help but think of that.
Or
Like it's
MAUS. I need
MAUS,
to
right?
read that boy, like,
Yeah, it's
for
a classic.
ages, yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, so yeah, it reminded me of that. It's just this brutal, violence on mice and rats. So I was like, all right, geez. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Just great animation. I love the animation style. I love the approach, and it make it work. So yeah, I had fun with this.
Right. As you know, you mentioned the whole video game cutscenes. That's what I felt for the next episode in
Yeah,
vaulted halls entombed, right? This was one that I really would enjoy, but this was a huge letdown.
yeah,
Mainly because of just how unfulfilling the end was, right? So it's the typical soldiers doing a mission, but they end up in some
right.
kind of weird alien temple thing, and there's this one gigantic creature who wants to be released, and
Yeah, and it kind of
he's
Lovecraftian
yeah,
and
Lovecraftian stuff, and people dying left, right, and center, right? And it's nihilist. I know they touch on a bit of nihilism here or there as well, right? But it's just the end where, okay, so the one survivor, this one female soldier, who is clearly brainwashed by the alien, and she's just kind of walking into the sunset.
well, I get the feeling that she just barely made it out because she get
Her
whatever
eyes were gouged out. Yes, I
eyes and
remember.
yeah,
Yeah,
her eyes and ears were damaged, were destroyed. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
but
like
she was
yeah.
muttering something. She was seeing
Because
something
Martin
in
right,
that
so she
alien,
like she now get catch now, so it was too late. But she barely get through because I feel she couldn't release the creature now, whatever it is.
yeah.
Or maybe the creature got gone inside her. I don't know. I
Right.
don't know how to read it. Yeah.
And I just found out that person who played that soldier is McGill, Christian Serratos from Walking Dead, right? Rosita, right?
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem.
And yes, while the animation is quite stunning, right?
Yeah, it's great.
It really does feel like video game cutscenes, and
Not
that's
video
not an
game cutscene,
insult, eh? And
Exactly.
I mean, it's friggin' Sony Pictures, Imageworks who work on this well. Like
Exactly.
what?
Yeah, that is like real high end. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the creme de la creme. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's not even a question.
and I mean, I love a first-person shooter, so I enjoy when soldiers
Yeah,
shooting a
it
bunch of like
them-
spider creatures. Like I enjoy that
exactly.
shit.
It could have totally be something outside of the Alien franchise or something. So it's like
Yes.
yeah,
I was picking up on some aliens vibe from it as
a
well.
little too derivative. Once you see the space marine thing, it's like, all right, yeah, you know where they're going. Because they very rarely do anything different with the space marine thing. It's always some alien insect or something weird. So it's totally like aliens or Starship Troopers. We don't know. Well,
Yeah, but just the end of it all was just like kind of just unremarkable for me. Just kind of
Yeah.
stops like, all right, well, that's the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Yeah. Again, derivative. Again, video game cutscene. But I can't say it was because it was so predictable of where it was going. Like, okay, this thing and this person going to take over, and I needed to shoot two people who was going towards the thing because they was hunting them down from before. I really felt like they could have switched it up anyway, storytelling wise, but whatever. Because I get the feeling the second we see this end, you'll see a title screen and you go and click new game, right? So it's like, moving on. I didn't love it, but yeah, it's fine.
Right, and now similar to the last volume,
Yeah,
and it catch me completely by surprise, way.
yeah.
They saved the best for
That's the
last,
best one,
way.
by far the best one.
Wow,
This was amazing.
Shibaru is the
Yeah.
best episode of this, right? Here's the thing, I watch this thing. I like, all right, we're seeing conquistadors, okay. You have this one deaf one, okay, and they're playing with sound, okay. And then this creature, right? This siren character shows up out of nowhere and does this thing, and she does this weird dance, and the way how she's draped in gold and whatnot. And they're like, all right, this is some art. So this is some art or shit I watching here, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I
well
mean? And she like dance, and she like on the water, like literally walking on water, right? But the idea is that she uses like sound, like she has this
Right.
yell, and she kind of like whoever hears it goes mad, right? So the conquistadors
Right.
just kind of wiping out each other, right? But the deaf guy can't hear it, right? And we're just seeing just this how the deaf guy is more or less. It starts off with him fleeing from it, and then he kind of goes against her because like she's trying to kill him then, and there's a moment
Right.
where she tries to seduce him as well too sexually, but it doesn't work, and then it
Right.
kind of works afterwards, right? But really, what makes it work, like this to me is like just it's simple storytelling, right? And it's
Right.
like even while I was watching this, I was asking myself, is this like a real myth? Like I feel like it's some
Probably.
kind of myth that it's really associated with that Gibberu, that woman
Right.
character, that
Probably.
female
Yeah.
character. Okay, it can't just be something out of nowhere. If it is, wow, okay, right?
Yeah.
But it's how it plays with sound, because you're hearing it from,
Yes.
how it cuts off from the guy's perspective, right? But really, where this episode shines by is the camera work, boy.
Yeah.
It's frenetic, but it's purposefully done so. It feels so lifelike, Dre. Like I feel like, like in prepping for, like they just made like oh gosh, I forgot what you call those storyboards, but like video storyboards. Like I feel like they actually went in the woods and just filmed certain scenarios so you know where the camera will be and they will know where
Right.
to
So when
block
it's
the characters and whatnot. But this was just pitch perfect as far as just the camera work goes. And the animation, OMFG boy,
yeah.
so lifelike, so real. And it
Yeah.
blends so well with the camera worker. And just the weirdness of it all, boy, because you've seen it from the guy's
Yeah.
perspective. You see it like when characters are dying or when they're like
Yeah.
in danger, and you're just seeing that freneticness about it, but it just totally works. Way I know for some people they might find this to be just weird and just pretentious for the sake of it, boy, but just because of how it is batshit crazy. Let me get that
Yeah.
out the way. This is batshit crazy, but it's my kind of batshit crazy, boy. But yeah, I absolutely fuck with this, boy. This is the best episode thus far from that's from an audio and visual perspective. This is brilliant, in my opinion, boy. And you have to really applaud this show, boy, for this ladies. While I'm looking at the studio here, Pinkman.tv, for this letting them just be like, hey, just let your freak flag fly here. Just go wild, just go eat shit with it, boy. And they did that, boy. I came out
Yeah.
of this like, my god, best episode, bar none. But yeah, your
Yeah. No,
thoughts on
yeah.
Gibber?
No, yeah, this was fantastic for me. You know, it remind me of is like a bit. If you know, it is Aguirre Ratagon,
Akire. From the moment
right?
I saw
Yeah, the
these
conquistadors.
knights
Yeah,
on the horses
yeah,
in the
yeah,
forest, I was like,
yeah.
yeah, Aguirre,
But
Aguirre.
then the camera approach, if you know, it feel like just I was thinking of that same kind of weird frenetic nature to everything. I want to say Lucia.
Not the beach, no.
No, okay, Lucia. Remember the war sequence in Lucia? Remember that movie? All
Yes, I remember from I think it's
Cuban,
from the late
Cuban film.
60s. Right,
Yeah.
where it felt like the camera was just following our person who's like, no,
Right.
all this war, no, like
Right.
someone disoriented. That's what it feels. Yeah.
Yes, that is what it feel like. It feel like that sequence in Lucia that Umberto Solas, I want to say.
Yes, it's him. It's him.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Yeah.
But
So
I
it
know the sequence you're talking about. Yeah.
yes, and it just is that is what it feel like. It's a mix of those two. I was really blown away. But this was the hype. This was the hype for me, and they bring it to me. They brought it. It was brought.
Yeah,
This is by
it
far.
was brought by,
Yeah,
but I know for some this could be too weird, too artsy. But like I like the moment the episode starts, but I just noticed that animation and camera work. I was like, all right, strap yourself in. This gotta be something. But the moment that siren came into it, but I was like, all right, this is something different. This is something
Yeah,
different. But I really feel it had to be based on some kind of myth. Like, if
probably
not,
yeah.
then
Quite look too
wow,
Indian,
props for the animation. Sorry, for the imagination that put into this way.
yeah, let's learn very Vedic, very Hindi in its design. I don't know the goddess is very Kali. I'm not really sure what they're going for there, but yeah, that's what I get the feeling for. But yeah, this was excellent though.
Yeah, I agreed. So again, like with the other seasons, it's kind of hard to really rate the whole thing though. I would say there wasn't that much hits compared to misses though, right? Like the really the two that stood out to me were Team Kill and Jabara, right? The others were just like, yeah, they're cool. They're cool. They look good
Right.
story wise. Some really miss, others really, land and whatnot. But I mean, still, it came out to be like a satisfying, season, right? I don't know if we're gonna get another one soon enough, but you just really have to applaud this show for just letting these animation studios just be creative, just be wild,
Right.
be imaginative, right? And that's what you get, right? So of course,
Yeah.
not every episode is gonna work. Not all of them will click. Some of them might be too weird or too dumb, but it's just a bit of everything, right? So for me, rating wise, decent, a strong 3.5 out of 5, man. if you're an animation buff, you absolutely need to see this. Of course, it's not going to be feature hard because of how violent it is and whatnot, though. But it still works in just giving us this weird anthology, right? That's really where it shines in its weirdness, and of course, it's just stunning animation. Yeah, and lastly, I mean, points to all the animation studios who came through. There was not one where I was like, nah, this animation sucks balls, but like all of them, like all the bits, all the segments with just featured just stunning animation, man.
Yeah,
From top to
yeah.
bottom. So yeah, final thoughts on rating on this season here.
Yeah, I forget all more original ratings for it, but this rating I 8 out of 10. I didn't love it as much as season 2 and 1. Um, but it was still pretty good. I enjoyed it for what it is. As it is. So about the same as season 2, to be honest. It had some good tracks, it had a couple things, and then it'll have some great highlights. I'll stick with you. But yeah, that Jabaro was really fantastic and really pulled the whole thing together. So yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, but like I legit want to watch over that right now and just bask in in the weirdness of it all, boy. But yeah, Pinkman.tv. I'm gonna keep an eye on that studio, boy.
Yeah.
They onto something with that one. But
I think they did
yeah.
Tron. I think they did Tron Uprising, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember because the Pigman name sounded familiar.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know it was them who did this. I was like, I know they did something with Tron. Whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, boy. I know it's a basic thing when it comes to like animation of this nature, by 3D animation. The water, boy.
Yes.
Especially them
Yes.
waterfalls. God damn.
Yeah.
I know that would have been hard to pull off, boy, but they made
Yeah.
that shit look so seamless, boy. Oh my god. Sorry, we can't praise this enough. If there's one episode you should watch, is that, right? But second best is still Kill Team Kill because of how funny and over the top it is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a favorite of yours that we didn't mention, I mean that's fine. There will always be one that really stands out, right? And that's the beauty of a show like this, right? But yeah, don't know if we're gonna get a volume 4, but and as I'm not even sure as to how long the series will go, but Tim Miller and David Fincher, onto something here. You have to give them praise for putting these animation studios on the map here. So yeah, can't wait to see what we get next month.
Yeah.